Hi everybody, Sean Woodland inside the CrossFit Update Studios. Week 2 of the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games Regionals are set to get underway in just a matter of hours. Our broadcast teams are in position. We're going to hear from them in just a second. But first, we want to update you on the situation in Brazil. As you may have heard, there is a general truck drivers strike in the country. It is affecting all forms of transportation throughout Brazil. So as a result, some of the equipment that we sent to the regional in Rio de Janeiro has been delayed. But in true CrossFit fashion, the community down there in Brazil has rallied. Equipment is being brought into Rio, it is being borrowed, and in some cases it is even just being improvised. So the bottom line is the competition will proceed as scheduled. For more on what's going on there down in Rio de Janeiro, let's first send it to Joel Gadet and Chase Ingram.
Yes, Sean, it is day 4 of a truck driver strike here in Brazil and in Rio de Janeiro as we welcome you down onto the floor here at Arena Carioca 1. He is Chase Ingram, Joel Gadet. Glad to have you along with us. Day 4 of that truck driver strike because of rising diesel fuel prices. What does that mean? Well, the Associated Press reporting that basically 2/3 of bus traffic has been halted in Rio de Janeiro. In Brasilia, planes can only land if they have enough fuel to take off. There's also been an impact on supermarkets. What does it mean for CrossFit? Well, it's tough to get the equipment into Rio de Janeiro when the truck drivers don't bring it to you. So, Chase, little improv today.
Definite improv. If you think about it, there is no equipment delivered here as of this morning and yesterday, and so they turn to the community that's getting their regional back, and that is the Latin American community, specifically here in Brazil.
CrossFit Crown, special shout out to them as well. Their 10-lane rig taken down by Rogue today will be brought here to the arena and built back up so we at least have a rig to work with. It's the first Latin American regional since 2014. They take an immense amount of pride in it. Guilherme Dominguez on the men's side said this is their games. They wanted it back. They got it back. Exciting to see what happens.
They got it back, and it's well-deserved to have it back. And if you're looking at the individual side, let's start with the women. Brenda Castro is a name we are well known now just because she's kind of Latin America's media darling. But I'm looking at the long shots that have been in the game for a long time. Think about last year, the California region. Kirsten Pedri qualifies after years of trying. Brista Mayfield last weekend in the South. I'm looking for Anita Pravati to take the next step. This is her 6th regional. She's so close. On the men's side, you have Yvonne Guyton coming out of Big Friends, #1 out of South America. Short stature, but big weights that guy can move. As far as coming out of the open, that's a name you look at. But if you talk to the locals here, they're looking at Anderon Primo as Brazil's kind of local hero to maybe, get them back in the limelight on the individual side. We said Big Friends has 4 individuals now, so they're stepping out of team competition. Dare I say it's big shoes to fill on the team side this year.
Yeah, because of that, certainly the team competition is wide open for that one spot. One team, one man, one woman coming out of the Latin American Regional, headed to the CrossFit Games in Madison. We'll find out who it is coming up this weekend.
Welcome to Nashville. Final preparations underway here at the Music City Center. Brandon Domain, Rob Orlando with you. And when it comes to this regional, the one big story that has dominated the headlines is the move to Tennessee and thus this regional by Matt Fraser.
Matt Fraser making his way down to the Central Regional. And it's going to be such an interesting thing because really what we're saying here is that there's only 4 spots left on the men's side. So who am I looking for? Day 1, Scott Panchik and Street Horner. Those are the guys that I'm going to be paying attention to.
Yeah, Scott Panchik, Mr. Consistency when it comes to the games, not just getting to the games. Street Horner, rookie year last year after a runner-up finish at the Central Regional, took 14th place, at the games last summer. Meanwhile, on the women's side, it's really going to be a wild card type of race. But when it comes to day number 1, you look at those first 2 events, and there's a couple of names that definitely pop out.
Day 1, barbell, I'm thinking Brooke Wells. 3 bars of death with Linda. It's going to be an amazing show for her. And then legs and lungs in event number 1 for Christy Aramo. I think it's going to be a strong day for her as well.
Now, we talk about the wild card component. The big reason for that, 15 of the 40 athletes that'll make up the women's field making their regional debut. There's going to be a lot of youth on the floor when it comes to the women's side of competition. On the team side, plenty of experience, especially coming from one gym in particular.
CrossFit Mayhem, they've got multiple teams here, and there's other gyms that have multiple teams here as well, but CrossFit Mayhem, they are just going to put on a show this weekend.
Now, they have 3 straight regional championships, but if you're looking for a contender, you might want to keep an eye on the #1 team coming out of the Open worldwide, that being OC3 Black, a team that finished in the top 10 at the Games last year as well. But we got to get it all started, and we will do so 9 a.m. local time, 10 a.m. on the east, 7 a.m. on the west, as we kick it off here in Nashville.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Del Mar Arena in Del Mar, California, the site of the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games West Regional. I'm Ted Ramey alongside Bill Grundler. And Bill, on the outset of this competition, we look at the women's side. I'm looking at China Cho, and I'm looking at Alessandra Pacelli.
China Cho has been around this game for such a long time. This is going to be her 9th competitive regional event. She's shooting for that 6th Games appearance. And I'll tell you what, she really has knocked out a lot of those weaknesses. And with these events, she's going to do great this weekend.
Now, with Pacelli, she's a high-quality athlete, but she is dealing with some injuries. What do we expect here?
She is just a strong competitor, so it doesn't matter. All these athletes are going to come in with some sort of aches and pains or whatever, but she's an athlete, she's a competitor, she's an explosive athlete, not a real loud, flashy athlete, so everyone else in the field needs to look out because she will be blowing down the door if they're not careful.
On the men's side, we gravitate towards Bridges and Fikowski. Those two names, obviously, everyone's looking at them. What are we going to see here?
Brent Fikowski, second fittest man on the planet, had kind of a shaky Open, but none of those top athletes are really gunning for the Open. They're really priming for the Games. That was just a step. He does so well in the regional events, and so I expect to see nothing but just fireworks from him this weekend.
And with Josh Bridges, he said no to the online qualifier. He's all in on the regional to try and get to the Games.
And I love that there's no plan B. He's all in. He is the regional champion coming back, so we know we're going to see some amazing things from him. We always do, but I want to see that battle between those two.
And on the team side, we're looking at Invictus with 3 teams here in this competition. They're the standard bearers, but is anyone on the come?
I think you have to look at the Torrance Training Lab. Usually when you talk about a team, it comes down to your women's angle, that women's side. With Chelsea Grigsby and Jamie Hagia, 2 very powerful athletes, they have probably the best shot to knock them right off the pedestal.
The 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games West Regional starts tomorrow morning at 9 Pacific time. Join us for the excellent adventure.
Thank you, Ted. Thank you, Bill. You will be able to watch every heat of every event live this weekend on one of 3 spots. You can check it out on games.crossfit.com, the CrossFit Games Facebook channel, and also on cbssports.com. And for those of you in the United States, be sure to tune in to your local CBS affiliate on Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, for a 1-hour recap show of day 1 of the 2nd week of the regionals, and also a look back at the 1st week of the regional competition. That is it for us for today. I'm Sean Woodland. We'll see you for week 2 of the 2018 Reebok CrossFit Games Regionals.